Hello, welcome back to the debate. So Liverpool top the Premier League table. They're 6 points clear of Tottenham in second and 7 points clear of Manchester City in third. The bookies now think that they're favourites to win the title. Are they your favourites, Tim?
Well, they have to be at 6 points clear, you know, with that big game against Man City coming up. If they were to win that game, I don't think they can be caught. You know, most of these top teams now, especially the top three, we're talking about Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, they play against the lesser sides in the league, and I'm talking about outside the top six, and they win. There's no slipping up. They're so consistent, the three of them now. So if they was to win this head-to-head against Man City, I don't think it'd be impossible to drop enough points to lose the league. So this game is going to be crucial. Having said that, I think Man City will beat them. I really do. I just think that they're not finished yet. I think there's more to come from Man City. I don't think by having this little bad run, the manager throws any toys out the pram. I think he just dusts them down, knows that they're capable. They are the champions. But this game obviously is going to be crucial. It's a massive, you know, it's all about 6 pointers. This is huge. It's a huge game. But Liverpool are there on merit. You know, they had some problems last season. They addressed it. Van Dijk, Alisson. It's been absolutely huge. I think the emergence and the development of Gomez has been brilliant. You know, and Alexander-Arnold's got better. Robertson's got better. He's improved them all of the time. They're just immense at the moment, Liverpool. And you know, can you see them tripping up? I can't. And especially, like I said, against the teams outside of the top six, they don't slip up anymore. None of these teams do. None of the top three teams do. They've got that level of consistency.
We'd ignore Man City, Leicester and Crystal Palace the other day, yeah?
Yeah, but no, I just think, no, but they're having a bad run. We know they're having a wobble. But I don't see, I mean, we can always pick one example, but I just don't think it'll happen. I just don't think Liverpool look like they're going to drop points.
They're 6 points clear, having dropped 6 points in the first half of the season. Yeah. So if they were to replicate that, they would, at worst, be level on points with Tottenham.
I don't believe Liverpool will go to season unbeaten. There will be a time where they will lose 1 or 2 games. Man City game is key, but I believe. You know, I also agree with Tim on this. I personally believe Man City will win the league. I'd love to see Liverpool win it. But actually, if I was Manchester City now, if I was the manager, you know, if you're the manager Pep and you were the players, you'd be sort of rubbing your hands together now, saying, "Game on now." You know, we've been last year. We won it so comfortably. Now let's see what we got. And these players, and I think we're winning it last year as well. I haven't had experience. And the quality, they can look left and right, and they've got players who win. That's what they're doing. They've got a manager who's a serial winner. I think you've got a lot of factors that you can fall back on and feel quite comfortable with. And the Liverpool game, I agree. If Liverpool did go and win that, then it would be tough to try. It would be tough to try and make that up. But with 6 points, 7 points, you know, especially over this Christmas period, you can get that back. I believe Man City,
especially when you're playing them. Exactly
that. But there's a lot of games. Like I know people would be saying now, what about Spurs? Why ain't Spurs in it?
We will talk about Spurs.
No, I look at Spurs. You know, the games they have lost, when they lost at home against Manchester City. I think Man City were by far the better team. They lost at home against Liverpool. You know, I say at home, they lost at Wembley against Liverpool. Liverpool were far the better team, and that to me showed Liverpool and Man City are better. And I know people, and I don't want to upset too many Spurs fans, unfortunately. I know they're going to be upset by saying this because they'll be saying, well, we're second in the league. But I don't believe Spurs could go to Liverpool and gain 3 points. I think Liverpool can go and win those games. I think they can't go to Man City and get 3 points either. But I believe that still is going to be between the two of them. But I still, Man City, don't write them off yet.
Well, what's quite interesting when you look at Liverpool's season so far and the group of players that Jurgen Klopp has, one of the things that's said about Klopp is that he hasn't won anything at Liverpool yet. He's taking a group of players who haven't got much title experience and trying to win the Premier League title with him. You were in that situation when you were captain of Blackburn. How hard is it, that second half of the season particularly, when people start to talk about you as genuine title contenders and you're in a completely new situation?
Well, after 19 games, which is where we are now, you can put yourself in the running. We did that for a couple of seasons prior to us winning it. And we did start looking around at each other in the second part of the season, and it was squeaky bum time, and we did blow up a wee bit.
Over the
yeah, but I'm talking about even the time we won it. You know, I think.
But towards the end of the season,
towards the end of the season,
a few games in a row.
Yeah, we always looking behind. You know, you always focused on Man United who were chasing us at the time,
Just
and we
hoping
knew
they
how
could
good
drop,
they were. So Liverpool know how good Man City are. They know how good Tottenham are at the moment. So they'll be looking at their results, and you almost expand as much energy watching their games and hoping they get beat and do you a favour than you do when you actually play your own. So, no, we look to your dad. I mean, we had Kenny Dalglish there who'd been a manager and who's got over the line as a player and as a manager. So we look to him as our reference.
Titles at Dortmund, so
yeah, but not in England. So that's the only thing we point to. But maybe the not knowing and just that free spirit might help them out. You know, I haven't got to worry about it. You know, we was at the time when we won it, we were 12 points clear with a game in hand at one stage, and we got into like March, April, and it was just sliding away. And you know, every night I'm like going in bed thinking, oh please, I'm so close to this. Don't let it just slip away. And you just try and drive each other on. What you do is you have to just reference what got you in this position in the first place. You'll know you're good enough as a group of players. You have to just go and nick them 3 points. One game at a time, just keep getting closer and closer. But I think it's easier to chase than it is to being ahead, you know, because you're always looking behind you. You're always looking for a favour elsewhere, you know, and it shouldn't. And at the end, obviously, you want to be the ones who are at the top. A lot of mind games went on back in our day. I don't think you're going to get the mind games now. I think the three managers don't play them sort of games, especially Pep. I would suggest he knows what it's like to win trophies. He wins everywhere he goes. He's done it last year. They're the champions. Liverpool, quite rightly, favourites, but I believe Tottenham are not finished. Tottenham are not finished, and that not knowing and just free spirits of just going out there, getting the job done. No one expects them, no pressure. I think they could be the dark horse here.
And we've got a tweet in asking about potential weaknesses for Liverpool as the season goes on, and asking which positions do you think Liverpool should strengthen if they do go into the transfer market in January. He's suggesting Nabil Fekir, they were linked with a lot over the summer. Torgan Hazard, who's Eden's brother, if they could bring him in to add a bit of creativity to the midfield. Do they need creativity in their midfield, or is the way they change, the way they play evolved?
Look, I've been impressed with Shaqiri and how they use him as well in certain games where he can have an effect, especially when teams drop deep. Then he can drop into certain areas, and he's very clever at being able to find a pass. But then if you look at the front three, maybe the midfield, I'm not too sure I like the balance. I really do. I the way they work and their understanding they have. They allow then the fullbacks to be able to push on. I just like the balance they have with the team. Of course, we can talk about Van Dijk, and he's definitely helped that with and Alisson. They needed to address those two positions, and they've made them a much better team. But the balance of the team, how they attack, especially with the three up front, but also they can come inside, so they can overload there, and also the fullbacks going on. But if you watch the likes of Milner, even Henderson, they fill those gaps. So they let them go on and then they drop into those areas. So they've got the balance of the team. I wouldn't be too...
Fabinho's surprised me in recent weeks. He's got a range of passing, especially in that Man United game. He can see a pass, great way to pass, you know. So he's got more to his game than he's shown. But now we're getting a run of games, I think we see the best of him as well.
But where are the weaknesses, though, if we're going to see Liverpool? Because they are going to have to slip up.
Well, the weakness is they need to keep players fit. And the main man they need to keep fit is Virgil van Dijk. If they lose Virgil van Dijk, especially now, Matip out, you know, Gomez out, it'll be crucial to, if you lose him at this stage, you know, you lose him at any time is a disaster. But to lose him at this moment in time would be a total game changer.
But also my concern is when they lose that first game. And they will lose. They will lose this season.
Not against the team below the top six.
Yeah, not against you. They don't lose. Don't lose against them. So, say for instance, it was Man City. Is how they respond after that, and they're the key moments. You know, I certainly didn't go. You know, I got third. Third was the best I got in the Premier League. But I remember even being at Celtic. Yeah, but he won it. He lifted it himself. But I remember like losing the league title on the last day at Celtic. And also, even like little bits, even getting promoted with Cardiff City and winning the league there, it was sort of, I think when you get older, you get a little bit more experience, you get a little bit more calmer with a lot of situations. Like the Celtic one was, you're relying on someone else, you know, if Rangers would have lost with 3 games left, then we would have won the league already without even kicking a ball. But credit to them, they kept winning and we blew up on the last day. But having that experience then, second time round, was like even with Cardiff was, say, even when we did lose a game, because it's going to happen, was like, calm down. It was like everything being calm. Don't worry, take one game at a time. Don't worry about leagues. Don't worry about wherever we end up, we will end up. Just win the next game.
Yeah.
That's the most important. Don't worry about who we got in 3-4 weeks' time. Games will come thick and fast, especially with Liverpool now being in the Champions League as well next stage. Just take one game at a time, and that's, and whatever happens, and if you're good enough to win the league off the back of it, then you're good enough.
Just related to that, Kelly, it's really dangerous for the people out there start thinking, well, we need just to add a little bit extra. Sometimes you can change the whole dynamics of your dressing room by doing that. They've got themselves in this position, the 3 teams we're talking about. I wouldn't rule Chelsea out of it at the moment either. I think they're still in touching distance. But say, let's take them 3, for example. I would not come and sign another player now.
I don't
you can change the dynamics.
Yeah,
I think Newcastle did it with Rasprilia.
Rasprilia, yeah.
It was a disaster in the end. And we know what a good player he was, total maverick player. Yeah. But he almost changed the dynamics of how they set about playing. And it didn't work out for him. But if it's not broke, don't fix it. For me at the moment, I think both squads are strong enough, if they get lucky with injury, to compete right to the death.
Manchester City, we're going to talk about them next. I know they're not in second place. They're not Liverpool's closest challengers, but they are the team that you're talking about. I know you're saying Tottenham are a dark horse here. They're in second place. They're not that much of a dark horse.
Not dark horse. They haven't got nothing to lose, Tottenham. Yeah. No one's expecting them to go the distance. Yeah. I am, because I think they've got the players capable of doing it.
But no, the reason we're talking about Manchester City next is because after Liverpool have played Arsenal, Manchester City will be playing against Liverpool. City have got Southampton at St Mary's in the meantime. But that game on the 3rd of January is going to be crucial, do you think, in terms of where, maybe not where the title ends up, but in terms of the title race?
I'll go as far as to say Man City have to win that game.
Have to win it.
They've got to win that game. They can't not win that game. Now, if they don't win that game, then you're looking at Tottenham or Liverpool to win the league, depending on how the fixtures go after that. But that is so big. That is a huge game of football. And Liverpool know it's almost... They won't get complacent, but if they win this game, they're almost there. Well, they'll almost put Man City to bed. Yeah. Depending on... They don't know where Tottenham are. They'll be looking over their shoulder to see where they are at the time.
That's why I'm still saying Man City. Because if I'll start saying Liverpool if Liverpool go and win that game, or they don't get beaten, they'll have a great chance then. They really will, because that's your one rival. The games are done. You don't have to play them again, and that and the confidence you have off the back of it, but also the negative impact it have on Man City. Man City will be going into that game knowing they have to win. Yeah. We have to do something here, and look, and I know
they've been in that position, Craig, have they?
Well, they were. Do you remember the game against Leicester a few years ago when Leicester won the league, and everyone thought that was it? Man City are going to go. They're going to beat Leicester, and Leicester are going to trail off, and this was the time. And then when Leicester beat Man City, there was actually now Leicester got a good chance of winning the league now. It was realistic, and in the manner they done it as well. So if Liverpool done anything like that, then I'd nothing more in this world I'd want than Liverpool to win this league, but. Because of Man City, because of Pep Guardiola, because of the football and type of players they have. Listen, they've gone a lot of the season now without De Bruyne. Hopefully, I say hopefully, but if he stays fit, you're adding he's the Premier League, I believe, the Premier League's best midfielder.
And yet they did all right when De Bruyne, when De Bruyne was missing. Yeah. What they haven't done is get the results when Fernandinho has been missing. That seems to have made such a big difference to them.
But that's why he tried so hard in the summer to sign Jorginho. It was the one position they can't fill. Now they can go without David Silva. Listen, you much prefer to have him, but you can go without one or two of these players. But that area there, that's why he was willing to spend a lot of money. He knew he needed a replacement for him there. And if he could do something then in January, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't. But these type of players, the quality that Man City would want to bring in, very difficult to get those type of players in January.
I mean, that's 2 games this season that he's missed, but overall, across all competitions, they have a 50% win rate compared to 78%. And look, 6 games, 23 games, you're not really comparing like with like. However, what do you see in the difference that the way Manchester City play when Fernandinho is not there? Not
a lot, to be perfectly honest. I think he's got one way of playing, Pep, and he lets anyone else worry about that. But what Fernandinho does, he's got that athleticism to put out fires, and he gets across the ground. John Stones just tried to play in there. Gundogan, not really a natural player. I mean, he's happy playing in that role, and he fills up holes. When the fullbacks go forward, he shifts across, he puts out fires. He's a very, very good player. But we're looking for something, aren't we? Man City, when they're losing games, we all can't believe it. Well, how can they get beat by these two sides? We're looking for the common denominator, and at the moment, we have to say the only one we can find is Ferrandino was not playing in them 2 games. He's not played in a few other games last season. They still won football matches. Pep Guardiola is a master of finding a solution. If someone's out of the side, he finds another solution. He did it last year, and I think we've got to give him credit for trying to do it again this season. I think he has succeeded in that.
That's what he said, isn't it, after the last game? He said, we need to find solutions. We've got problems here, and we need to work out how to fix them. I need to go away and fix them. Given how brilliant Manchester City have been, given the record-breaking season that they had last year, there was talk maybe that they could go on and be even better this time around, but it just shows you how difficult it is to find those tiny margins right at the top.
There is, but I love the fact that there's always a solution to a problem. There always is, and there's times you might not feel like there is, especially after games, but when the dust settles and you calm down and you go through the game again and you start looking at, he's so clever. I feel like every time I watch Manchester City play and I watch him as a manager, and this is even just before Manchester, I felt like I was getting a coaching lesson. Like he's doing something. What's he doing now? So even the live games, imagine being a Manchester City supporter. You need to watch something's going to happen. Yeah. He's doing something like, say, for instance, I was watching Leicester the other day against Manchester City, and I just thought, I'm just going to watch De Bruyne here, and just watching his positioning, watching how patient he is, and he just and that's Guardiola. He expects you to be in that role, and I love the fact he uses wingers, keeps them high, keep them wide, leave them 1v1. He just does so many. There's so much going on, and the players, he must be a dream to play for. Yeah. So all right, they're having a bad patch at the moment, but you've got that. You surely have that confidence, and you look at who you're being coached by, and they will get it back, and they.
But he's done it before, hasn't he? I mean, the first season he knew he couldn't win playing his way with the fullbacks which he had. So he addressed it, went out and got Kyle Walker, he got Mendy, and then Mendy got injured for a long period. And what did he do? Put a central midfield player in Fabian Delph and played him left back and found a different way to play. Stuck someone out wide, let Delph go and play in midfield. The guy's a genius at finding solutions. But I would suggest this is the biggest test he's had, certainly in the Premier League so far. Now
do you think he'd be enjoying that, though? Do you think he'd be like, he's got to be, he's got to be sat back now.
I think he'd rather be...
This is good, this is what, I needed this.
Yeah, I think he'd rather be 19 points clear like it was last year. But this time last year, they had 55 points, they've got 44 now.
But the question we were asking about Manchester City last year was, they're so far ahead and so much better than everyone else, are they going to get complacent? So
we were
saying win either way.
Only 3 weeks ago I was on here saying they're just spoiling it for everyone. Liverpool will be title contenders, Tottenham and Chelsea would all be title contenders if it weren't for this boring us Man City keep winning every week. And we're 3 weeks later, we're down the line, and all of a sudden they're in 3rd place.
There has been such a big swing at the top of the table, such a big points total. Big change as well in terms of goal difference as well. So Liverpool and Man City now level on goal difference as well. Will the fact that both Tottenham and Manchester City, particularly in this instance City then, have to play 2-legged semi-finals in the League Cup in January hinder their title chances? Is it going to hinder City, do you think, particularly?
I think this would be a great indication of how the manager's mindset of both teams are. I know what Pep's would be. Whether Pochettino thinks we're in the semi-final now, we might as well win something. People keep banging on about you need to win something, you need to win something. This is the best chance they've got in the Carabao Cup to go and win something. Yes, they've got a tough game, home and away at Chelsea. If they're standing around the top of the league by then, will he sacrifice a few players? Will Harry Kane play? Will Eriksen play? They're the 2 key players for Tottenham. Well, I'd be intrigued when I see the team sheets come in. I was surprised and pleasantly surprised when he picked the team against Arsenal, because that was a strong side. It was only Harry Kane who was rested. And it was almost like, yes, we're going to try, but now we're going to go and win something. We're going to win this one. Now, they're so close. They're so close, the closest they've been since Leicester won the Premier League, to actually doing it again. I know we're only 19 games in, there's an awful long way to go, but they put themselves in touching distance. And the consistency level, as Mauricio keeps saying, it's got so much better. So he almost believes it himself. Him and his coaching staff will believe they can win the Premier League.
And for Manchester City, as you know, Craig.
Yeah, they got Burton.
They have got Burton, as you
which I predicted, yeah, accidentally. So,
like Paul the
I'm not
Octopus.
Mystic Meg or anything. Yeah, exactly. But it was by accident. It was actually a blunder on my half. It was. I didn't realise 2 other teams are actually playing the next day. But that helps Man City. You know, I don't believe Man City will go as, you know, they won't be their strongest lineup, but they mix it up like they have done through the League Cup so far. And playing Burton, and that's no disrespect to Burton, and you know, they've done brilliant to get to the semi-finals. You know, with especially the budget they have, and you know, playing in the league they do. So you know, and the manager Clough is, you know, is a Clough in a major tournament again, which is great to see. But being Burton, it does help Manchester City.
You've said from the start of the season you think Manchester City will win it. Up to January the 3rd, when you're allowed to change your opinion, and Liverpool has still got Arsenal, Manchester City have still got Southampton to come before then. Do you still think Manchester City, at this point, will win the league?
I would still say Manchester City, yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
what do you think?
I said Man City at the start of the season. I don't like to change my mind.
You fancy Spurs, don't you?
I do fancy Spurs. I think Tottenham have got, if their best 11 is kept fit, I think Tottenham have got a real chance. I think all Tottenham fans will be Man City fans on the 3rd of January.